Humans are the most terrifying creatures on Earth. What some have done to their fellow man is hard to comprehend. The most horrifying cases always seem more like fiction than fact, something you'd see on a TV show or in a movie. Today, we're going to be discussing 2 horrifying, real cases of cannibalism. Issei Sagawa murdered, dismembered, and devoured a classmate in 1981. After being held for 2 years in police custody, Sagawa was deemed legally insane in French court and was ordered to be held indefinitely in a mental health institution. After being deported to Japan, he was declared sane by Japanese psychologists and so was able to sign himself out of care. Today, he is walking free and claims that he will eat people meat one more time before he dies. Sagawa came from a wealthy family and had exhibited cannibalistic urges from an early age, even engaging in bestiality. At 23, he made his first attempt at eating human flesh by breaking into a woman's house to cut off a piece of her flesh. He was caught and charged with attempted rape. At 32, he moved to France to earn his PhD in literature. There, he killed and cannibalized Dutch student René Hartveld. He said he chose her for her beauty and health, 2 things he believed he lacked. After shooting her in the neck, he ate various parts of her body over the course of 2 days. He then attempted to dump her body, including 2 suitcases full of her dismembered body parts, into a lake, but he was caught in the act. He checked himself out of the hospital on August 12, 1986, and remains free. Sagawa's continued freedom had been widely criticized. Between 1986 and 1997, he was frequently invited to be a guest speaker and commentator. He became a minor celebrity in Japan, making money off his infamous story, but the fame and money soon dried up. In 2005, he moved into public housing and began receiving welfare benefits. In 2011, he said that being forced to make a living while being known as a murderer and cannibal was a terrible punishment. In 2013, he was hospitalized from a cerebral infraction, which permanently damaged his nervous system. Since being released, he has been under the full-time care of his brother. Do you think Issei Sagawa deserves to be free? Or should he have remained in a mental institute for life? Richard Trenton Chase was a serial killer who had the strange desire for eating flesh and having sex with his victims' bodies. He went on a killing spree that lasted for a month and left 6 people dead. Besides brutally murdering his victims, he also loved drinking their blood, earning himself the name, the Vampire of Sacramento. Chase was born to an abusive family on May 23, 1950. Both of his parents were strict disciplinarians who didn't think twice about beating him. By the age of 10, he had already exhibited signs of becoming a serial killer. He liked to torture animals, he was a pyromaniac, and he still wet the bed. His mental health continued to decline as he became a teenager. He started to abuse drugs and had constant delusions. While he could be social to strangers, he never had any long-term relationships with women because of his strange behavior and the fact that he was impotent. His impotency frustrated him so much that he asked a psychiatrist for help. The doctor couldn't help, but they did note that Chase was impotent because of his mental issues and pent-up anger. Chase was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and was held for a short time at a facility for psychiatric observation. Doctors couldn't provide any relief from the pain that Chase was suffering, so he took matters into his own hands. He believed that he was being cured by killing and exsanguinating small animals and eating them raw. This crazy idea ended up giving Chase blood poisoning from injecting rabbit's blood directly into his veins in 1975. He was hospitalized once again, and doctors confirmed Chase's schizophrenic diagnosis. They attempted to treat Chase using drugs designed to treat schizophrenia, but were unsuccessful. Doctors concluded that Chase was sick because of his drug abuse and not because of mental health issues. Yet, his mental condition continued to deteriorate after he was found to be in possession of 2 headless birds. It was discovered that he had sucked the blood from the birds, which led to him being checked into a facility for the criminally insane. Shockingly, doctors released Chase back into the care of his parents in 1976 after they deemed him not to be a threat to himself or society. Soon after, his mother decided to take him off his anti-schizophrenia prescription. She found him an apartment, paid for his rent, and even got his groceries. She thought that she was helping him to become a normal member of society, but leaving Chase on his own without his medication only made things worse. His bloodlust for animals eventually turned into a lust for human flesh. Chase's first murder occurred on December 28, 1977. He killed 51-year-old Ambrose Griffin. Griffin was helping his wife unload groceries from the car when he was killed in a drive-by shooting. Chase's crimes escalated from there when he targeted pregnant Teresa Wallin. On January 23, 1978, she was taking out the trash when Chase walked into her house through the unlocked door. Chase shot Teresa 3 times using the same gun that he had used to shoot Griffin with. He then proceeded to rape her dead body while stabbing her repeatedly with a butcher knife. He removed her internal organs, cut off one of her nipples, and drank her blood. Before leaving the house, he grabbed dog feces and stuffed it down her throat. This wasn't even his most disturbing crime. He was a monster on a rampage. On January 27, 1978, Evelyn Meredith, her 6-year-old son Jason, and family friend Dan Meredith were found dead inside the Meredith's household. The 22-month-old nephew of Evelyn, who she was babysitting at the time, was missing. The crime scene was brutal. Dan Meredith died in the hallway with a gunshot wound to his head. Evelyn and her son were found in her bedroom, with Jason having 2 gunshot wounds to his head. Evelyn's dead body had been raped and sodomized several times. Her stomach was ripped open, and her vital organs were missing. Her throat was slit, and she had been sexually violated with a knife. There was also an obvious attempt at gouging out one of her eyeballs. Investigators were starting to realize what kind of monster they were dealing with. Yet, the 22-month-old baby, David, was nowhere to be seen. Police on the scene were not hopeful for the child's safe return after they discovered that there was blood on his crib. Chase later revealed that he had brought back the baby's corpse to his place. He mutilated the infant and dumped the body at a church, where police found it. Luckily, Chase was arrested after he left a very distinct hand and shoe print at the scene, and his reign of terror finally ended. In 1979, a jury found him guilty of 6 counts of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to be executed in the gas chamber. Other prisoners were so disturbed by his crimes that they did not want to be in the same prison as him. They constantly attempted to pressure Chase into killing himself. On December 26, 1980, Chase finally managed to collect enough antidepressants to overdose and kill himself inside his cell, ending his horrifying and sad life at 30 years old. Do you think Chase received the justice he deserved, or should he have been committed to an institute for the criminally insane for life? Thanks, strangers, for watching. What strange case do you think we should cover next? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, stay strange.